Good morning, fourth graders. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 15-4, Measure and Draw Angles on page 789. Your I can statement is, I can use a protractor to measure and draw angles. Unfortunately, I didn't send you home with any protractors, so don't worry about using a protractor for this lesson. Okay, I want to talk about what a protractor is, but you don't have to use one for the lesson. So here we have what is called one of our math tools. It's a protractor. And you have a lot of numbers on this protractor, okay? So first of all, I want to start you off with this straight line right here, okay? This ABC angle is not there. Pretend that's not there. So you have this straight angle here. And if there's a straight angle here, that represents 170 degrees. So if you were to start kind of like this, if you were just to start, here's the bottom of the protractor, and if you were to start here, if that were an angle, that would be about, I would say, 20 degrees, okay? So we know it's an acute angle right here. This angle's an acute, and as it increases, as it keeps going this way, so if we open up a little more, my new angle would be something like this. It's opening up a little bit more, and the angle's increasing, so this would be about maybe 60 degrees. You might be asking, well, how do I know which number to look at? So all of these numbers on the inside here, that's what you are going to use if it were an acute angle and the angle were facing this way, okay? If my angle was facing this way instead, so say if I drew an angle like this, it's still an acute angle. It's just kind of the opposite way we're used to drawing angles. You would use the outside, 10, 20, 30, 40. So say this would be 90 degrees. So say if I drew an angle like this and then like this. This is a 90-degree angle. It's just facing the opposite way. If I drew an angle, if I wanted to draw a 40-degree angle, I could find my 40 here on the top row, or I could find my 40 degrees here on the bottom row, okay? I'll draw it both ways. So I always start here, and then here's my 40 degrees. It's not perfect, so this is 40 degrees. And if I wanted to draw a 40-degree angle from this side, I would find my 40 degrees. There's my 40, and then connect it. See how they're almost exactly the same thing? It's just the way you draw it. It could be opposite sides. It doesn't matter. Let's try an obtuse angle. If I were to draw, let's see, an obtuse angle that is 120 degrees. Okay, so let's start on this side. Well, I know that all of these numbers on the bottom, they represent acute angles because 10, 20, and it goes all the way to 90 here, and then it continues here. So if I wanted 120 degrees, I'm going to start over here. Well, here's 170 degrees, but then I have to find 120. Here is 120 degrees. I know that an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. So I would draw my line here, and then I would match it up with the 120 degrees here. That is obtuse. If I were to do it instead like this, I found my 120, and then connect my line here, that's not obtuse like you can see. You can see that it's still acute, therefore it would be 60 degrees. Okay, so if I wanted my 120, that's where I would draw it. Now, if I wanted my 120 angle facing the opposite way, I'm going to draw it in a different color so you can see the difference. I find 120 over here, So first I'm going to draw this, and I know it has to open up larger than my 90 degrees. So here's my 120 degrees, so I'm going to match it up 120 degrees. And if you see my purple and if you see my green, they're about the exact same angle, 120 degrees. So a protractor helps you measure and draw angles. There's just a little bit more on measuring angles and drawing angles. We're not going to draw angles today, but if you would like to learn how to draw angles, you can read this box C here. Okay, I want to skip down to the bottom here. For 7 through 14, measure each angle. Tell if each angle is acute, right, or obtuse. You are not going to measure because you don't have a protractor. Unless you do have a protractor and you would like to try that challenge to measure each angle, all I want you to do is tell me if it's acute angle, right angle, or obtuse angle. So number 7, you kind of have to ask yourself, what does 90 degrees look like? Okay, well, this is kind of at a slant, so 90 degrees would be about like this. Then I could, there's your 90 degrees. Well, this is greater than 90, so we know greater than 90 degrees is going to be obtuse. Number 8, acute, right, or obtuse. Well, 90 degrees would be this angle, and it's a little bitty angle. It's a little cute angle, so it's acute angle, less than 90 degrees. Number 9, this one looks, it looks like 90 degrees, but is it? So if it were exactly 90 degrees, they would actually have, instead of just an oval or like a part of a circle there, they would have a box here to show that it's 90 degrees, but they don't. Okay, they do here on number 11, so right away we can identify that this is a right angle. But in number 9, it looks like it's a little less than 90 degrees. And what do we call those types of angles? We call them acute angles. We'll do one more. We'll do number 10. This one is definitely greater than a 90 degree angle. My 90 degree angle would be about this. You could see the L shape, but they went a little bit more. So that would have to be obtuse. Okay, so in your homework, when it says measure each angle, just ignore that part. And then just tell me whether it's acute angle, right angle, or obtuse angle. And I'm not going to give you anything that you have to draw an angle with. You will have a few in your homework that does measure angles. For example, like number 16, 17, 18. You have to kind of follow what they're asking. For example, does the measure of angle COA, so I'm going to find COA, COA equal the measure of EOD? Well, here's EOD. Well, if EOD is a right angle and ACOA is the opposite, okay, are they going to be equal angles? What is their angle measurement? So that's what you're going to do for your homework.